So today, we're diving into single-player games that are actually worth the full price, which, let's be honest, should be the standard, but isn't anymore. You know, those rare ones where you buy them and instantly think, yep, that was money well spent. Games with killer stories, smooth gameplay, and moments that stick. The kind that pull you in, eat your weekends, and make every dollar feel justified. Let's jump in. Hi-Fi Rush. Picture this. You wake up in a world that feels like Jet Set Radio, and Saturday morning cartoons had a caffeine-fueled baby, and your heart literally beats to the soundtrack. That's Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks' rhythm-action fever dream that no one saw coming and everyone secretly needed. You play as Chai, a wannabe rock star with the confidence of Tony Stark and the intelligence of a half-charged toaster. He accidentally gets a music player fused to his chest, and boom, the world starts grooving to his every move. Even the robots bob their heads when you dodge roll. It's absurd. It's beautiful. Combat? Think Devil May Cry, but sync to the beat. Every parry, combo, and finisher feels like a solo in a concert where you're both the band and the mosh pit. And when you land that perfect rhythm combo, chef's kiss. Dopamine straight to the veins. The writing's sharp, the humor's self-aware, and the art direction, pure comic book candy. This isn't just a rhythm game, it's a playable music video with heart, swagger, and more personality than half the AAA lineup combined. Play it for the vibes. Stay for the riffs. And remember, if you miss the beat, Chai still dances like nobody's watching. Evil West. Imagine if Red Dead Redemption got blackout drunk, stumbled into a vampire bar, and woke up covered in monster guts and regret. That's Evil West in a nutshell. Developed by Flying Wild Hog, this game asks one question. What if cowboys had lightning gauntlets and zero chill? You're Jesse Rentier, part vampire hunter, part walking muscle meme. The guy doesn't do stealth, he does electric uppercuts. This isn't your slow, thoughtful cowboy story. Nah, this is pure chaos, dipped in gasoline and set on fire with a cigar. The moment you charge your gauntlet and punch a bloodsucker into mist, you realize subtlety is dead, and that's okay. Gameplay? Think God of War meets Doom Eternal. Every punch, shotgun blast, and chain whip combo hits like an angry sermon from the Church of Overkill. You're not just fighting vampires, you're conducting electrified jazz on their faces. It's loud, dumb in the best way, and unapologetically old school. No live service nonsense, no open world filler, just pure, pulpy action that remembers when games were about fun, not FOMO. If you ever wanted to feel like Van Helsing on steroids, Evil West delivers that high-voltage dream. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You ever play a game so cinematic it makes your Netflix subscription feel insecure? That's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The kind of sequel that walks in wearing a leather jacket, stares remake dead in the eyes, and says, move. I Got This, developed by Square Enix, this is not just a reimagining. It's a full-blown reinvention of what nostalgia can feel like when it's been through therapy and a graphics card upgrade. You step back into Cloud's gravity-defying boots, the spiky-haired merc with a tragic backstory and enough emotional baggage to fuel 3 JRPGs. The story swings between heartbreak, destiny, and wait, what the hell is even real anymore? And somehow, every twist hits harder than a limit break. Combat? It's poetry in motion. Fluid, fast, tactical, with the perfect mix of real-time action and strategic slowdown that lets you flex both your reflexes and your brain cells. Every fight feels like a boss battle. Every boss fight feels like an anime finale. If Remake was the spark, Rebirth is the explosion. It's cinematic chaos, emotional whiplash, and pure artistry. And when the credits roll, you're left sitting there like, yeah, this is why I play games.
Don't overdo it. I got you. Not bad.
Nine Sols. If Sekiro and Hollow Knight had a baby, then raised it inside a Taoist cyberpunk fever dream, you'd get Nine Sols, a hand-drawn masterpiece by Red Candle Games, the same devs who made Detention and Devotion. But this time, instead of psychological horror, they said, what if enlightenment required parrying gods to death? You play as Yi, a vengeful hero on a quest to slay 9 ancient rulers who ascended to divine status. The gameplay is razor sharp, every fight a dance between patience and aggression. You parry, slash, and dodge through enemies that demand respect, not not button mashing. Each boss feels handcrafted to ruin your ego before rewarding your persistence with the most satisfying counter you'll ever pull off. The art direction? Gorgeous. The music? Spiritual. The pain? Delicious. It's not an easy game, but it means something. You don't just play 9 sols, you meditate through its chaos. And when you finally land that perfect parry on a god, yeah, that's enlightenment. Batman Arkham Knight. There's something special about stepping into Batman's boots, not the cinematic billionaire philosopher version, but the one who silently glides across rooftops, punches crime in the throat, and somehow still broods harder than a teenager who just discovered Linkin Park. That's Batman Arkham Knight, Rocksteady's grand finale to the Arkham saga, the point where they said, you want to feel like Batman? Fine. Here's the whole damn city. Gotham is massive, drenched in rain and neon. The atmosphere alone could win an Oscar. And the Batmobile? Yeah, people complained it was overused, but come on, it's a tank that drifts. You're literally Tokyo drifting in a military-grade death machine while the city burns around you. That's poetry. The story dives deep into Bruce's psyche, guilt, fear, and the crushing weight of a symbol that's slowly breaking the man beneath it. The Arkham Knight himself? A haunting mirror of Batman's worst decisions, wrapped in a tech suit and pure resentment. It's not just a comic book tale, it's Shakespeare with batarangs. Combat is still peak Rocksteady. Fast, fluid, brutal. You chain combos like a psychopath ballet dancer and clear rooms with more style than a John Wick movie. And those Predator sections? Chef's kiss. You don't just fight enemies, you haunt them. Arkham Knight isn't perfect, but it's bold, cinematic, and full of heart. It's the farewell Batman deserved. One last glide through a city that will never stop needing him.
You cannot defeat me! No! My plan! My plan!
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There are open worlds. And then there's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, a game so massive, so detailed, and so emotionally scarring that it ruins other RPGs for you. CD Projekt Red didn't just build a fantasy world, they built a lived-in nightmare, where even fetching a frying pan somehow turns into a morally gray tragedy. You play as Geralt of Rivia, the gruff, mutant monster hunter who looks like he eats protein powder straight from the tub. His voice is 90% gravel, 10% trauma. But beneath that stoic facade, a man just trying to find his adopted daughter while dodging politics, ghosts, and horny sorceresses who keep derailing the main quest. The world feels alive. From the sun-drenched fields of Velen to the misty horror of Skellige, every corner hides a story. Often sad, sometimes hilarious, but always human. Combat? Slick and deadly. Geralt doesn't just swing swords, he dances with death, using signs, potions, and sheer grit. And the choices? Brutal. There are no good endings, only Geralt endings, where you did your best and still somehow made everything worse. The Witcher 3 isn't just worth every penny, it's worth every hour of your life you'll never get back, and you'll thank it for stealing them.
Show me your silhouettes, folks. I want.
Facehugger, watch out!
Suppressive fire! Shit! I'm out!
Aliens Dark Descent. If you've ever watched Aliens and thought, man, I wish I could command a squad of doomed Marines instead of just screaming at the screen, then Aliens Dark Descent is your twisted dream come true. Developed by Tindalos Interactive, it's not your typical xenomorph blasting shooter, it's a real-time strategy survival nightmare dressed in industrial horror and stress. You're not just one badass, you're the poor soul responsible for keeping 4 jittery Marines alive as you descend into hell, one motion tracker ping at a time. Every mission is tense, resources are scarce, mistakes are permanent, and panic spreads faster than the xenomorphs themselves. When things go south, and they will, it's not just game over. It's a slow, messy collapse of everything you tried to hold together. You can plan, strategize, and fortify all you want, but the moment that motion tracker spikes, it's primal fear. No cutscenes, no hand-holding, just sweat, tactics, and screams in the dark. It's brutal, tactical, and unforgiving. Exactly what an Aliens game should be, because out here, no one can hear your carefully planned strategy implode.
meditate.
Days Gone. There's a certain kind of peace that comes with riding through a dead world on a busted motorcycle. Just you, the road, and a few thousand infected freaks who want to eat your face off. That's Days Gone, Bend Studios' open-world biker apocalypse that's equal parts heartbreak, chaos, and surprisingly good beard physics. You're Deacon St. John, ex-biker, part-time philosopher, full-time sad man with a shotgun. He's not your typical hero. He's the guy who fixes his bike with duct tape, grumbles at the world, and still rides headfirst into hell for the people he loves. His story's not about saving humanity, it's about surviving grief, one gas tank at a time. The Pacific Northwest setting is stunning, a hauntingly beautiful wasteland where nature has taken back the ruins. Forests whisper, rain falls heavy, and every abandoned house tells a story. But don't get too comfy. The freaker hordes are a living nightmare. Watching hundreds of infected sprint at you like an avalanche of teeth and rage. Yeah, that'll make your controller sweat. But between the chaos, there's serenity, long rides at sunset, Deacon muttering to himself, and that rare feeling of belonging in a world gone wrong. Days Gone isn't perfect, but it's real. It's rough, messy, human. And when you finally gun it through a burning horde with your engine howling like a war cry, that's not just gameplay, that's freedom.
Okay.
More bounties.
The creature should have a tracking device. Take it.
Sorry, I'm about to kill you.
Devil May Cry 5. You ever play a game so stylish it makes you feel cooler just for existing near it? That's Devil May Cry 5, Capcom's glorious return to demon-slaying absurdity where trenchcoats billow, guitars explode, and physics politely steps aside for pure attitude. You jump into the bloody ballet as Nero, V, and the legend himself, Dante. 3 characters, 3 flavors of chaos. Nero's all about raw power and grappling demons mid-air with a robotic arm that might as well be a Swiss Army knife from hell. V, he's the quiet emo poet who fights by summoning his trauma to do the work for him. And Dante, the man stylishly slices through entire dimensions while flirting with death and bad puns. It's unhinged perfection. Combat isn't just about killing, it's about performing. You don't play DMC5 to survive, you play it to look good while surviving. The better you fight, the flashier your soundtrack becomes. Land that SSS rank, and suddenly you're starring in your own heavy metal opera. The story, meanwhile, mixes family drama with biblical nonsense, and somehow makes you care. Devil May Cry 5 is chaos refined, equal parts skill test and power fantasy. It doesn't just make you feel strong, it makes you feel cool. And in a world full of games begging to be taken seriously, DMC5 just flicks its hair, smirks, and shreds another demon in half.
I won't lose to the likes of you. Foolishness. Rushing behind all you can get.
Lies of P. Once upon a time, Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy. Now, he's a gothic murder machine carving his way through a city that looks like Bloodborne crashed into a steampunk opera. That's Lies of P, a brutally elegant Souls-like from NeoWiz that somehow turned a children's story into a symphony of pain and beauty. You play as P, a puppet with perfect hair, crippling self-awareness, and the deadliest dodge roll in the business. The combat? Chef's kiss. Tight, punishing, deliberate, every swing feels like it costs something. Parrying in Lies of P isn't a mechanic, it's a religion. One mistimed block and you're scrap metal. Nail it though, and you feel like a god wrapped in gears. The weapon customization is wild too. Want to slap a great sword blade onto a rapier handle? Do it. Physics can go cry in a corner. But beneath the blood and brass, it's a story about humanity. What it means to lie, to love, to choose. It's melancholic, haunting, and absurdly pretty. By the time you finish, you'll realize you didn't just play Pinocchio's story. You lived his nightmare. Lies of P doesn't just test your reflexes, it tests your soul. And honestly, that's worth every death.
You can become a real human. Come to me, my son.
CLAIR Obscure Expedition 33. Imagine living in a world where an immortal painter kills people every year just by finishing her next masterpiece. Yeah, welcome to CLAIR Obscure Expedition 33, a turn-based fever dream from Sandfall Interactive that looks like it was painted by God, then cursed by the devil for being too pretty. You step into the shoes of Gustave and his crew, humanity's last hope, marching toward the heart of this painter's realm to end the yearly numbering. It's equal parts existential dread and visual poetry. Every frame looks like a brushstroke come to life. Combat in CLAIR Obscure isn't your typical press A to hit. It's rhythm-based turn combat, demanding timing, precision, and a weird sense of musical intuition. Every swing, spell, and parry is synced to the beat of battle. It's like if Persona 5 and Dark Souls had a French art school baby. The tone is melancholic but strangely hopeful. The world is dying beautifully, and you're somehow okay with it. The characters are tragic and flawed, but their courage feels real. The writing doesn't hold your hand. It paints emotions with silence and atmosphere. If you crave something different, something that feels less like a video game and more like stepping inside a painting that breathes, bleeds, and whispers, CLAIR Obscure Expedition 33 is that rare kind of art, the kind that hurts to look away from.
Finesse and grace.
Ghost of Tsushima. Some games don't just tell a story, they breathe one. Ghost of Tsushima isn't just about swords and samurai, it's about honor, loss, and that moment when the wind itself seems to whisper your name. Sucker Punch didn't make a video game, they made a moving painting, one soaked in rain, blood, and cherry blossoms. You play as Jin Sakai, a noble samurai forced to become something darker when the Mongols invade his homeland. He's torn between tradition and survival, between the code of honor and the brutal reality of war. Every decision cuts deeper than his katana. It's not just combat, it's philosophy in motion. The island of Tsushima is staggering. Fields of swaying grass stretch into golden sunsets, storms roll across mountaintops, and foxes guide you to secrets because apparently nature itself wants you to succeed. It's a world that doesn't need a minimap. The wind literally leads you where to go. That's art. Combat flows like poetry and violence holding hands. The clang of steel, the precision of every strike, it's pure cinema. And then, amid the chaos, the game goes quiet. A man losing his soul to save his people. That's Ghost of Tsushima. Beauty and brutality, dancing on the same blade. Dying Light. You ever wake up, look out the window and think, yeah, I could probably parkour over those rooftops while dodging zombies? That's Dying Light. Techland's glorious blend of chaos, free running, and oh god, it's nighttime panic that turns survival into an adrenaline addiction. You're Kyle Crane, undercover agent, occasional good guy, and professional bad decision maker, dropped into the quarantined city of Harran. Sunlight means scavenging, crafting, and kicking zombies off buildings like you're auditioning for a WWE highlight reel. The world feels alive and hostile at the same time. Harran isn't just a setting, it's a living death trap. The rooftops are your sanctuary, the streets your graveyard, and that moment when you hear a volatile's growl behind you while you're mid-jump, instant heart attack, zero regrets. Combat is crunchy, brutal, and deeply personal. Every swing of your machete feels desperate, every Molotov a prayer. It's not about power fantasy, it's about resourcefulness. You're not a hero, you're a survivor with duct tape, adrenaline, and bad luck. What makes Dying Light special is the rhythm, the constant push and pull between fear and freedom. Every night survived feels like you earned another sunrise, and when you finally nail a perfect rooftop chase with a zombie horde snapping at your heels, that's not gameplay, that's pure flow state. This isn't just another zombie game, it's a heartbeat simulator wrapped in a survival nightmare. Baldur's Gate 3. If Chaos had a rule set, it would be written by Larian Studios. Baldur's Gate 3 isn't just a game, it's a 200-hour tabletop campaign where every decision, dice roll, and chaotic brainworm possession somehow spirals into either love, death, or both. It's the closest you'll ever get to Dungeons & Dragons without having to explain to your friends why you're seducing a vampire again. The writing is absurdly sharp. No two playthroughs feel the same. Every choice feels like pulling a thread from fate's sweater, and before you know it, you've unraveled the entire universe. The companions? Absolute icons. Shadowheart's mystery, Asterian's sass, Karlach's chaos. It's a traveling circus of trauma and personality, and you'll fall for all of them whether you mean to or not. Combat is tactical brilliance wrapped in cinematic flair. Every turn feels like a chess match where the pieces might start flirting mid-battle. But the magic of Baldur's Gate 3 is that it makes your story feel like canon. Every failure, every romance, every disaster, it's yours. A living, breathing epic told through chaos, dice, and sheer audacity. This isn't a game you just play, it's one you live, and you'll be rolling those choices in your head long after the credits fade. Elden Ring. Some games give you freedom. Elden Ring gives you the world, then politely drop kicks you off a cliff to see what you'll do next. From Software didn't just make another Souls game here. They forged an open world epic that feels ancient, alive, and hauntingly indifferent to your suffering. And yet, you can't stop exploring it. You're a Tarnished, an exiled wanderer chasing glory, purpose, and maybe a little bit of self-respect. The lands between stretch endlessly before you, a place where gods have gone insane, demigods hoard power like toddlers with crayons, and grace itself flickers like a dying star. It's breathtaking, it's terrifying, and every inch of it dares you to earn your victories. Every boss fight feels like a conversation between artistry and trauma. You die, you learn, you return stronger, until you realize strength doesn't mean control. Exploration is sacred here. One moment you're fighting a dragon under blood-red skies, the next you're stumbling into an underground city glowing like a galaxy. There's no checklist, no hand-holding, just curiosity and consequence. You earn every discovery. Elden Ring is the mountaintop of single-player design. Massive, brutal, and beautiful. It's not about escaping reality, it's about confronting it in mythic form. Suffering's never felt so cinematic. Worth every penny? Nah, worth every death. And that's the list. 15 worlds, 15 escapes, and 15 reasons your backlog's about to get worse. These games aren't just worth your money, they're worth your time, and that's the one thing you never get refunded. If you're still here, you're basically family. Drop a like, tell me which game stole your sleep schedule, and maybe hit that sub if this vibe fits your playlist. No pressure. Now go play something that reminds you why you fell in love with gaming in the first place. I'll see you in the next one. Same chaos, new world.